Hello and welcome to this video on the topic of whether we only use 10% of our brains. This idea has been popularized in movies, books, and even by self-help gurus, but is there any truth to it? In this video, we will explore the scientific evidence behind this myth and examine whether there is any merit to the idea that we are only using a small fraction of our brain's potential. Join me as we take a closer look at the complexities of the human brain and the scientific research that sheds light on its functioning. The idea that we only use 10% of our brains is a popular myth that has been perpetuated in popular culture for many years. Despite the prevalence of this myth, however, it is not supported by scientific evidence. To begin with, brain imaging studies have shown that most of the brain is active during a variety of tasks. Even when we are resting, our brains are still busy with various processes such as maintaining basic bodily functions, consolidating memories, and even daydreaming. Furthermore, the idea that we only use a small percentage of our brains is not supported by evolutionary theory. Evolution would not have favored the development of such a large, energy-consuming organ if it was not necessary for our survival and success as a species. It is also worth noting that brain damage or injury can have significant and sometimes devastating effects on our ability to function. If we were only using a small fraction of our brains, then damage to that small area should not have such a profound impact on our cognitive abilities. Despite the fact that the idea of only using 10% of our brains has been debunked by scientific research, it remains a popular myth in popular culture. This may be due in part to the allure of the idea that we have hidden potential waiting to be unlocked. In recent years, there has been a rise in the popularity of brain training exercises and programs that claim to help us unlock more of our brain's potential. However, the effectiveness of these programs is still a topic of debate among scientists. While some studies have shown that certain types of brain training can lead to improvements in specific cognitive abilities, such as memory or attention, the overall impact on our brain's functioning is still unclear. It is also worth noting that there is no evidence to support the idea that we can somehow unlock the other 90% of our brains through these types of programs. It is important to remember that the brain is a highly complex organ and that our cognitive abilities are the result of a combination of genetic, environmental, and experiential factors. While brain training exercises may offer some benefits, it is unlikely that they will allow us to access some hidden reserve of untapped potential. Ultimately, the idea that we only use 10% of our brains is a myth that has been debunked by scientific research. Our brains are highly active and constantly at work, even when we are not consciously aware of it. While we may be able to improve certain cognitive abilities through training and practice, the idea that we can unlock some hidden potential by accessing the other 90% of our brains is not supported by science. The 10% brain myth has been around for over a century, and it's been perpetuated through books, movies, and pop culture. But where did it come from, and why has it been so persistent? The origins of this myth can be traced back to the early 1900s, when psychologist William James suggested that humans only use a small fraction of their mental abilities. This idea was later picked up by self-help gurus and motivational speakers, who turned it into the popular belief that we only use 10% of our brains. However, modern neuroscience tells us a different story. Studies have shown that our brains are constantly active and engaged, even when we are not consciously aware of it. Every part of the brain serves a specific function, and we use all of it, not just 10%. One piece of evidence that debunks the 10% brain myth is the fact that brain imaging technology, such as fMRI, has allowed researchers to see the activity of different regions of the brain. These scans show that even when we are sleeping or resting, our brains are still active and using a significant amount of energy. Another argument against the 10% brain myth is the fact that brain damage, even in small areas, can have significant effects on a person's cognitive abilities. If we only use 10% of our brains, then damage to the other 90% wouldn't have much of an impact, but this isn't the case. In conclusion, the idea that we only use 10% of our brains is a myth that has been debunked by scientific research. Our brains are highly active and constantly at work, even when we are not consciously aware of it. While there may be ways to improve certain cognitive abilities through training and practice, there is no evidence to support the idea that we can unlock some hidden potential by accessing the other 90% of our brains. We hope that this video has helped to clarify this popular myth and shed light on the incredible complexity and functionality of the human brain. Thanks for watching.